What's going on, YouTube Metal Complex here, and today I've got another interesting knife review slash knife overview to do with you guys. This is the White River Knife and Tool Knucklehead 2. This is a fixed blade knife. It's actually a neck knife. You can see there by the sheath and the little lanyard there. This is designed as a neck knife. This is another knife that's offered through, or actually it was actually, full disclosure, it was provided to me by USA Made Blade, and he actually said go ahead and keep it. So this is mine. I'm going to do my best to not let that affect the review. I'm going to give you guys my honest thoughts on this. But this is an interesting knife. I just wanted to say thank you to Scott from USA Made Blade. If he's not on your list of retailers, I say this every time, I have legitimately been shopping with USA Made Blade for a very long time. They stock some of my very favorite knives, and Scott is a big Hinderer fan, so of course, you know, it's nice to be able to go over there and see some cool Hinderer stuff, but check them out, usamadeblade.com. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at this knife. We'll do a measurement here real quick. Overall length of the Knucklehead 2 coming in at exactly 6 inches. The blade length from the tip down to the part that's not that's not a blade, you're looking at about 2.75 inches of cutting edge, and also, I mean, that's also the blade length in this case as well. Give you guys a quick example of the action here. Just kidding, it's because I don't normally do fixed blades. But honestly, as far as the action goes on a knife like this, it would probably be something like, you know, how well does it stay in that, sorry, I had it the wrong way. How well does it stay in the sheath, and how easy is it to deploy? It's in there. There's a little bit of rattle, but I mean, if I was wearing this around my neck, unless I was doing jumping jacks all day or I was jumping off of one-story buildings, I would not really be concerned with this coming out. As far as pulling it, it's actually really easy to pull because you can get your finger in that little ring there. I watched him do a video on this, or I think he actually showed it on a live stream, and I was like, that's interesting. You put your finger in that hole there, and then that's how you hold on to it. You know, my dedicated fixed blade right now, because the SC3 is gone, we'll get to that down the road. I'm looking for another dedicated fixed blade. I still have the Izula. It's small. It's not something that I would get a lot out of if I sold it. And, you know, I feel like for what I use a knife for, maybe that'd be okay. My qualm with it, though, is that I don't have a lot of room on the handle. So when Scott did this and he showed this, I thought, that's a little knife that I think I would be able to get my hand all the way around. So that's pretty cool. But anyways, let's go ahead and get a weight on this guy here real quick. Overall weight, the Knucklehead 2 coming in at a whopping 1.66 ounces. No surprise there, considering the entire thing is basically a skeleton with a blade on the end of it. 1.62 ounces. How about let's weigh it with the sheath as well, just because you're probably not just going to stick this in your pocket. You're probably going to be carrying everything. So if I can get this back. Guys, I did not have a lot of experience with fixed blades. So, and you're like, what? Why would it take experience to just put it back in the sheath? Just put it back in there. So the entire thing with the sheath and the neck piece is only 2.68 ounces. Yeah, there are lighter neck knives out there, but this wouldn't be something that would bother me. It would more so be, for me, it would be the fact that I have something swinging from my neck. Now, if you're used to a neck knife, that's not going to bother you. Somebody like me who doesn't use one, I mean, yeah, I would have to adjust to it, but the same could be said for just about anything. So let's go ahead and take a look at the anatomy of this knife. What we have here is basically a blade that is all belly. You've got, I mean, I don't know exactly what blade shape we're going to call this. I don't know if we're going to call it reverse tanto, or we're going to call it, you know, it's got kind of, if I'm looking at this from the perspective of like somebody who knows their blade shapes by what Rick Hinderer calls his blades, it looks like a Skinner grind XM18. Now, whether or not that makes this a skinning knife, I have no idea. That's not my forte. But what I can say is we've got a blade stock thickness similar to the PM2. We're looking at probably about 145 thousandths, 150 at max. It looks to be about 145 thousandths. And then we've got, the blade is actually made entirely of CPM S35VN, and it is a USA made knife. That's really, really cool. It also has that beautiful stonewash that I like, but look at this. Look up close. We've got a little bit different texturing that divides the flat and the drop. That's a nice touch. That mixed with the fact that we've got nicely rounded off edges right here. The jimping is functional, but it's not aggressive. But everything has that nice little rounded off feel to it. It's got that nice partial reflectivity to it, kind of medium grain structure. You know, it's got a few deep scratches and a few like kind of, you see the grays and the whites in there. It's really pretty to look at. I have to say, I do not know what these holes are for. Perhaps they're for balance, to keep it from being super blade heavy. When I put my finger in here like this, it's pretty balanced, but you can see there if I tip backwards just a little bit, it'll actually tip over the edge. So those holes must be for balance. It must be to keep the balance of the blade right there on what would be, I guess, it's just the primary area that you would hold the knife in. I kind of like their logo. I like the little bear. Speaking of their logo, check out the box that it came in. This is neat. It's a wood box that I pried apart like a Neanderthal. It actually just slides apart there, and it comes with a little certificate of authenticity, and it comes with some instructions for the sheath. Which, by the way, I think it also comes with like the clip stuff. I think it's actually, is it underneath there? Let's look. I think it is. Yeah, it comes with all the stuff to just wear it on your side. So people like me who don't want to wear it around their neck, they just want a nice EDC size knife, you've got that option. That's really cool, because honestly, I'm not going to wear this thing around my neck. Some people do, and I'm not coming down on people who do, but it's just more, that's a foreign thing to me. That's just different. So it's not something I'm going to do with my knife. Is it the type of knife that would be convenient in that setting? Maybe, but I don't feel like I have enough experience with it, and I haven't watched enough, you know, informative videos to have even the slightest clue as far as whether or not that's a convenient position for it. It's set up for that. That's about all I can say. Moving on here, you can see there's some serious skeletonization here. We have the area that you put in your finger, and you can see that cool kind of weathered finish actually extends all the way down the handle here. It looks really, really nice. Ergonomics on this guy. So you can see you've got this position for your finger. This second little place is for this finger to rest right there. And then you can actually get your entire hand around this blade. Your thumb will naturally fall into this position. As far as how this feels, number one, you're not going to drop this. You are not going to drop this knife. This feels comfortable. After a long time of cutting, if I'm going to be breaking down cardboard boxes with this, here's where it's going to start to rub. It's going to be on the inside of your index finger, right? But unless you're doing, if you're buying this knife as a dedicated box breakdowner tool and you're going to cut with this thing for 30 minutes at a time, right? Then yeah, that's going to be a hot spot. If you're literally anybody else and you use your knife anywhere between once and 10 times a day for quick cuts, yeah, it's going to be totally fine. This is a knife also that you could wrap partially with paracord. You know, I don't know if I would wrap in here. If I was going to do it, I'd wrap around this spot and maybe around the outside of this, but you may not want to do too much wrapping around this part because you can see here we've got a bottle opener. So if you do some light wrapping around here, I imagine you're still going to be okay, but you could add your own, you know, flair and add your own little paracord lanyard to it with some paracord, and I think that's pretty cool. Here's what I really, really like about it. This is a USA made blade, USA fixed blade, meaning it's made in the United States. The whole thing is CPM S35VN, and these run $80. I was really concerned. Is it 85? I think it's $80, guys. I was really concerned that I was going to see an over $100 price tag on this, but I was honestly pleasantly surprised. Now, some people are going to look at something like this and go, it's so simple. How could it possibly cost $80? Looking at other fixed blades that are out there, you know, that are made in the USA, that are made with this type of steel, oftentimes you do see, like for example, the SE3, it's 1095 steel. It's made in the United States. There might be a more substantial process to its manufacturing, but that tends to be a $110 to $130 knife a lot of time. Yeah, there are variants out there that are a little bit less, but you're getting a nice compact design in a premium stainless steel. It's got a really unique look and a really unique ergonomic shape. And honestly, this hand position to me doesn't look like it's for show. This feels like a pretty good way to lock into a little tiny blade. The issue with little tiny fixed blades for me is always that I can't get my whole hand around it and I don't feel super secure, you know, and locked into it. Now, what I'm going to use a small fixed blade for is outside stuff that I would not use my folding knife for, right? I want a dedicated fixed blade so I don't have to pull out a knife like my my Hogue Ritter and worry about putting excess damage or excess pressure on the pivot, on the frame, you know, on parts of a folding knife that make a folding knife weak, right? I would use a fixed blade if I was going to do something a little bit more heavy pressure. I want a small one because it's compact and easy to carry, but the issue is always, I don't feel like I'm super secure on it. So the nice thing about this is that I actually feel completely locked in with this. You know, I feel like I could take this out and really do some work with it. You know, it might start to kind of wear on my finger a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be that bad. And I like that you can add some personal flair to it with a little bit of paracord. This is a cool knife. Honestly, I think this is a really cool knife, and you can get it for 80 bucks. And you can wear it on your side if you want to. You can wear it like a neck knife. It's just cool. It's one of the cooler and more unique fixed blade neck knife sort of designs that are out there. And it's not, you know, it looks cool, but it's not all for flair and all for show. The design of it is one that emphasizes an ergonomic utilitarian form, I guess, is when it finally comes out. Fit and finish on it is also really good. The blade is ground symmetrically. There are no, you know, nicks or rolls in the edge. Everything looks nice. It just looks good all the way around. I don't have an issue with any of it. So this is absolutely a knife that I can recommend. I mean, I'm appreciative that he gave it to me, but if I didn't like it, if I didn't like it, I probably wouldn't show it. I generally like to only show knives that I like. Now, sometimes I show knives that I'm like, but it's like, I can't really recommend it because of the price, or I can't really recommend it because of this small issue or whatever. But I've gotten away from showing things that I just absolutely hate. Because if I absolutely hate it, then it's just me like just coming down on this design that, you know, ultimately might be the thing that the designer is using to feed himself or feed his family. And I don't want to do that. So you won't see, you know, most of the time you're not going to see things on this channel, at least unless I like it at least a little bit. But not only do I like this, I'm going to recommend it. So I just want to let you guys know, if you're interested in this knife, head over to USA Made Blade. I'm not getting anything else other than the knife, and that's really cool. And honestly, I'll probably do a giveaway for this. I'll probably turn that around and extend it to you guys so that a lucky person can get their hands on this and enjoy it. But anyways, thanks again, Scott Whittington from USA Made Blade, for allowing me to take a look at this. If you guys enjoyed this video, or at least found it entertaining, please leave a like. If you'd like to take a look at my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like. So take a look at that stuff. And if you enjoy all my content, then please subscribe to my channel, because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.